Welcome back to Crypto Win Rate. Today on the channel, we are doing an in-depth futures trading tutorial on the Bitunix exchange. If you want to receive new user perks, I recommend you create a Bitunix account with the link in the description. New users registering with our link will be eligible to receive these exclusive sign-up bonuses. The first step in our futures tutorial is we need to make sure that we have money in our futures account. Heading up to my wallet, we can see I have 250 USDT in my spot account, so we need to transfer that USDT to our futures account. If you're not sure how to deposit crypto into Bitunix, we do have a video on that, so I'll leave a link in the description. We can click on our spot account. Then on the top right, it says transfer. We click that, and we make sure we are transferring from our spot account to our futures account. We see our 250 USDT. Click all, and then submit. We have successfully transferred our balance to our futures account. The next thing we want to do before we trade is get familiar with all the fees that we will be dealing with on the Bitunix exchange. So let's just scroll down to the bottom from the main page, and we can see here fees. We can see on the far right side the futures trading fees. So the base fees for makers are 0.02%, and for takers 0.06%. Exchanges usually charge two types of trading fees, maker fees and taker fees. Maker fees apply to when you place a limit order, while taker fees apply to when you execute a market order. Now these are the base fees, and depending on your balance in your account and your 30-day futures trading volume, you can gradually reduce your fees. Now there are two types of fees. We have the trading fees, and we also have the funding fee. We can see the funding rate up here. Funding rates are a small payment paid between long and short traders to keep futures prices close to the real spot price. If funding is positive, longs pay shorts, and if it's negative, shorts pay longs. So right now the funding fee is negative, so shorts are paying longs. On the right side, we have a countdown. Most exchanges apply funding rates every 8 hours. Looking at the Bitunix futures trading dashboard, the next thing we want to do is head to settings. Here is where you can control your notification settings as well as your confirmation settings. But what we really want to look at is the position mode. Right now we have it set to one way, and we could also set it to hedge mode. If you trade on one-way mode, you could only have one position open at a time for each token. Meaning, let's say you have a BTC long open, you cannot open a short. Whereas if you had hedge mode, you can open a short. So it kind of just depends on the type of trader you are. If you like to have multiple positions open on the same token for both directions, then I recommend using hedge mode. For this tutorial, we are going to keep it on hedge mode. We also want to make sure that our futures unit setting is set to USDT by cost. Up here on the top left, under BTC USDT, we just want to make sure that we are under futures and USDTM. Here is where you can choose what tokens you want to trade with. You can organize them. So if I want to look at stocks, TradFi, AI, we also can favorite our favorite tokens we like to trade. So here I already have BTC starred, Sol, and let's say I want to star XRP as well. And we can just head to our favorites, and we can trade right from our favorites. For this tutorial, we will be trading with BTC. If you want some more info on BTC, you can just click the info tab. Here you can see trading parameters, funding history, and token information. Bitunix also has a new tab called Data, where you can do a bit more research on positions. Up here is where we have the 24-hour change, mark price, index price, the 24-hour high, low, 24-hour volume in BTC, and 24-hour volume in USDT. And on the far right, we have funding rate, which we already covered. Next, we have the chart. This is a TradingView chart. TradingView is built into most centralized exchanges. Over here on the left, you got drawing tools. You can draw trend lines, mark support and resistance with horizontal lines, or highlight zones using rectangles. Up here is where you can add indicators, So indicators like the 52-week high and low, average price, the Bollinger Bands, really just depends on what type of trader you are. You can also switch time frames between 1 minute, 4 hours, 1 hour, really just depends on your trading style. At the bottom is the trading volume, and we could also head to chart settings. Here's where you can customize candles, colors, and layout however you prefer. Again, you don't need to use everything, just pick the tools and match your strategy. A cool feature that Bitunix has with its charts is you can have multiple charts beside each other. So let's say you want to trade multiple tokens or check out, let's say 3 different tokens at a time. We now have 3 charts side by side, and we can click on a chart. So for this chart, I have BTC. This chart, I want to look at ETH futures. And this chart, I want to look at SOL futures. This is a little small, so we can make it full screen. And now we have 3 different charts where we can look at and decide on positions that we want to make. For this tutorial, though, we are just going to keep the one screen with Bitcoin. Over here, we have the order book. The order book shows all the current buys and sells on the exchange. The green is buyers, and the red is sellers. And it helps traders see supply and demand at different prices. We can also click on trades. This section shows the most recent trades happening on the exchange in real time. It can help traders quickly see the current pace of buying and selling in the market. Now that we understand the chart and the order book, we can now get closer to executing our trade. Here we can see futures and grid. In this tutorial, we are not going to go over grid, as it's just a futures trading tutorial. We have cross and our leverage. If we click on cross, we can see that there are 2 margin modes, cross and isolated. As we do have multi-asset mode enabled, we can only choose cross, but if we still want to understand the difference, cross margin means you can offset losses from one position with the profits of another position, whereas isolated only looks at one individual position. Each position you open is on its own and has its own liquidation thresholds. I would say as a beginner trader, isolated is a little bit more complicated as you do have to manage multiple liquidation thresholds, whereas when you're using cross, everything is put together and it's a lot easier to manage. For this tutorial, we are going to stick with cross, so we're going to confirm that. Clicking on our leverage. We don't want to use too much leverage for our trade, so we are going to use 3x leverage and 3x leverage for our short if we open a short position. This is where we can open our trade or close our trade. And we can see there is limit, market, and trigger. A market order buys or sells instantly at the current market price, whereas a limit order lets you choose the exact price you want to buy or sell at. A limit order is placed in the order book where the trade will only execute if the market reaches that price. We also have trigger. A trigger order is different because it waits first, so it only activates when the price hits your trigger level, and then it places your market or limit order. Traders use trigger orders for things like stop losses and take profits so they don't have to sit there and watch the charts. For this tutorial, we are going to be using a market order. We are going to open a 3x long on Bitcoin, and we're going to use our full balance. So right here, we can use 100% of our balance. Before we open this trade, we can see there is a box that says TPNSL. This represents take profit and stop losses. A take profit and stop loss order helps manage your risk automatically. A take profit closes your trade when your profit target is reached, while a stop loss closes the trade if the market moves against you. There are different ways that you can add a take profit and stop loss. You can add it before your trade, after your trade, and you could also add partial take profit and stop losses. So I'm going to show you each one. The first one is before your trade, so we're going to do that right now. We can see Bitcoin is trading at 68,522. I will be happy to exit this trade if Bitcoin hits 100,000. Once it hits this price, we will be sold out of our position, and we can see our estimated profit will be about 333 USDT and 71 cents. For our stop loss, I have a jittery hand, so I don't really want to be in this trade after 55,000. That's when I'll cut my losses. And we can see at 55,000, we will be down about 143 USDT. This is the simple way to add a take profit and stop loss, but we can also click on advanced. The first option we have is by P&L. So this would be how much you would be up on your trade. So let's say I'll be happy with a $500 profit. This is the price Bitcoin would be at, and the ROI I would have. ROI, this is taking into account our 3x leverage. If I'm up 200% on my trade, this is the price and the P&L. And we have by change. This is the percentage change for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up 50%, this is the price it will be at, and our P&L. This is the exact same for shorts, just on the opposite side. I just wanted to show you the options and how to add a TP and SL before your trade, but we're actually not going to do that right now. I'm going to show you how to add it after. So we're just going to open this trade, go over the details. We have that 3x market long on BTC, and we're going to open it and confirm. We can see the position was open. Under the position tab, here we can see my 3x cross long on BTC, my entry price, estimated liquidation price, my margin balance, my unrealized P&L, and my realized P&L. Over here, we see position TP and SL and partial TP and SL. Clicking on position TP and SL, this is if we want to fully exit our trade. We again could just choose how we want to set our TP and SL. I'm happy with a $200 profit, and I don't want to lose more than $50. And again, we can see the price Bitcoin would be at, the ROI, and on the other side as well. We can also set partial TP and SLs. What this means is we can use it to slowly exit a position. Down here is where we can choose the size of our position we want to exit. So let's say we want to create 2 different TP and SL orders. So we're going to exit 50% of our position and then another 50% depending on the price. So I'll be happy to exit half of my position once Bitcoin goes up 50%. And I want to cut my losses a bit if Bitcoin goes down 25%. Just got to make sure that's 50% of our order. So now we have 50% of our order being sold at 102, almost 103,000 BTC. This is the profit we will make. And we have 50% of our order being sold at about 51,500 BTC if the price goes down 25%. We can confirm this order, look over the details, and we have opened up a partial TP and SL. Next, we can add our second take profit and stop loss. So how this works is, since we set our first one to close 50% of our position, this 100%, this would be 100% of our remaining position. So if we would do 50%, this would then only close 50% of our remaining position. So we don't want to do that. We want to be fully out of our trade after this take profit is set. So we're going to keep it at 100%. I want to be out of this trade after Bitcoin is up 100%, so almost at 140,000. And for my stop loss, I'm going to cut my losses if Bitcoin pretty much goes past 35,500. So I'll be fully out of this trade as well, and we can confirm. We can see here it says available TP quantity and available SL quantity. Now that it says 0%, that means that our orders have fully covered our full position. So if Bitcoin would rise above 137,000 around, we would be fully out of our position. And if Bitcoin would fall to about 34,300, we would also be out of our position on the downside. So that is how to set a partial TP and SL. I also just wanted to show you a trailing TP and SL. We have two options, interval and ratio. I think it's a lot easier to explain with ratio. A regular take profit or stop loss is fixed, so you pick a price and your trade closes there. A trailing stop loss moves with the price. So if the trade goes in your favor, it keeps locking in more profit and only closes when price pulls back. So basically, regular TP caps your profit, whereas a trailing TP lets the winner run. So let's say Bitcoin just keeps on going up. It goes all the way up to 100,000. We have a 15% retracement range. So that means that, our take profit will be at 85,000. So this is just another way to take profits. If you want to be even more exact, you can set an activation price. This will be the price that your trailing take profit / stop loss will activate. So again, if Bitcoin's at 50,000, but you don't want it to activate yet, once Bitcoin hits 75,000, now your take profit and stop loss is activated on a 15% retracement range. I hope I did a good job of explaining that. If we wanted to close all of our positions, so our open orders and our main 3x long, we can head to our open orders here, click on TP and SL. We can cancel them individually or just click cancel all. We then have different ways to close our position. We can click on positions, choose the amount we want to close. So if I want to close 100% of it, and then we can decide if we want to close on the market, or the easier way for me is you would just click on close. You can do a market, trigger, or a limit order. For the tutorial, we are just going to close our position at the market price. We are going to close the full amount. We can see what our position is worth now. It's actually been a bad couple of minutes for the markets. We are down about 8 USDT, so 3.3% in, let's say, 20 minutes. So not the best trade, but we did it for the tutorial. And we are going to confirm this close. We can see that our position was closed, and under assets, we now see our depleted USDT. If you want to get the best bonuses when signing up to Bitunix, you should create an account with the link below this video. The link will take you to this sign up page where you can see all the bonuses that you are eligible for. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We also have a website at cryptowinrate.com where we have lots of crypto content and tons of educational guides for you to sift through. I appreciate your time, and bye for now.